tropical forest over a mountain area. It smells like Christmas. It's very beautiful out here today. Thankful to be in the woods away from the wind. As we were getting a ride to Carver's Gap, we watched the temperature plummet from 50 down to 36 because of the elevation. And I was grateful to not be outside last evening. The wind had to be 50-mile-an-hour winds up here. The Refuge Hostel, I stayed there 4 nights and just left this morning. What a wonderful stay. I'm definitely coming back someday. And today, going shorter miles, we'll have 2 nights in the woods, and then we'll be at Uncle Johnny's in Irwin, Tennessee. And today's camp spot is roughly only 10-ish miles. And then tomorrow, about 12, another relatively shorter day, because I want to camp at the top of Unaka Mountain in the beautiful spruce forest. And hopefully the weather will be conducive. And then the day after that, we'll have 14 into Uncle Johnny's. And I'm at the portion of my hike I think I shared where I can slow down a bit and start hiking later, like when it's daylight, stopping earlier before dark, giving myself time to savor these last 300 and something miles. The only exception would be the Smoky Mountains National Park. I want to get through there as quickly as possible because the logistics sound like a giant pain in the ass, to be quite honest. And then I might have a couple double zeros here and there in order to time my finish the week after Thanksgiving. Random old fireplace in the middle of the woods. I wonder where it belonged. I would like to see the cabin. I am checking in. It's been a beautiful day out here. The sun came out. It started out in the clouds because I was at over 6,000 feet up on Roan High Knob, and then I worked my way down over the day. I think I'm at like 4,000 and something feet, and the sun was out and blue skies, puffy clouds. I had a stop at I think it's Little Rocky Knob, and beautiful vista. Took a photo and video, and originally was going to consider camping. There is a lovely tent site not right at the view. It's about 0.1 miles north of it. But man, the wind on that side of the mountain was, even with the sun out, I was like, whoo. And when that sun goes down, and it's going to be cold tonight in the 30s, low 30s, and I think there's a frost advisory. I was not liking the wind, so I moved on, and the shelter is another mile, and I'm going to see what I think about the tent sites at the shelter. The shelters do not have bear boxes or bear poles or anything, and there are no privies. And if I'm going to tent and not sleep inside the shelter, which I don't want to sleep in the shelter unless it's raining and it's way more convenient, I do want to tent. There's really not a huge point to staying at a shelter unless, if other people come along to camp there, that would be great. I prefer to camp at night with other people around, especially without a bear box, and I got my food hanging, and we'll see. I'll see how I feel, because there's a nice tent site a little bit, I don't know if I'm going the right way here, a little bit past the shelter. That's another mile, and I have plenty of time to get to that. Decisions. But right now I just got to mosey down the trail, and that's easy to do, one foot in front of the other. And I will make the call when I get to the shelter. And have a hot meal, maybe some tea, and get my winter gear set up and get in bed early so I can stay warm. Okay, I've reached the side trail for the Clyde Smith Shelter. I think it's just like 0.1 down here. I'm gonna go check it out. I'm pretty sure this is where I'll be stopping for the night, because there's at least a chance it'll cut the wind. It seems to be down, nestled in a little depression, pushes the land around it, and I can maybe camp either next to or behind the shelter or something. We'll see. We'll take a look. Hi there. I am at camp, holy cow, at the ungodly early hour of 4:10. My tent is all set up over there next to the shelter that's behind me. I can show you around a little bit. The sun is out. It's a beautiful day, but man, it's going to get cold when that sun goes down. I camped over by some trees, and it seemed a lot less windy here than that other tent site I was looking at, even though there's no one else here at the shelter, and I'm a solid, I don't know, 1/10 of a mile off the trail. I'm possibly going to be the only one here. It's totally fine. I just didn't feel like going another mile to a tent site. Anyway, let me show you around a little bit since no one's here, and I don't really get to do that at shelters. Usually they have other folks around. This is the Clyde Smith Shelter. It's about 1/10 of a mile off the trail. The trail, there's a blue blaze, comes down there from the AT here to the shelter. It does have a water source. I do not need to visit the water source because I carried water in case I was going to stop at that other stealth site that I did not choose. Every shelter is built differently. This one does not have picnic tables, but it has like a bar area you can cook and eat, and some places you can sit. And it has steps up, and it's actually a bunk style. It says it sleeps 6 people. That would be a little cozy. It would probably do 4 super comfortably, maybe an extra 5th person in the middle there. Given the temperatures tonight, I opted to tent, even though it's a little bit more work, but my tent goes up pretty easily. And I chose a site here next to the shelter. Basically, it's, you know, there's some trees there to maybe block the wind. Back, there's a trail that goes back there, and there's a ton of space, flat tenting spots, just beautiful way back in. I just didn't feel like doing that since I'm the only one here, and I don't know, I was just lazy and I wanted to set up near the shelter. Worst case scenario, something happens in the night and I feel like going in the shelter, I'm right here. We are in the state of Tennessee, therefore there is no privy. But tons of woods around, and there is no bear box, so I am going to look for a suitable tree to hang my sack from, and I'm probably going to get dinner going here soon so I can get all my chores done and get into bed before the sun goes down. So I'll stay nice and toasty warm. Alright, so that is the Clyde Smith Shelter. Oh, I was going to see when it was built. There was a sign over here. Oh, it was built, oh, you can't read it, but it was built in 1976 by the Forest Service. And I think it's gotten some love since then. It looks like a Eagle Scout project took place in 2009. Probably rebuilt it, definitely painted it. Yeah, but I like kind of the breakfast bar concept. I can sit here, and I just had a snack actually, some popcorn that I packed out, and you can look out over the trail and the woods, and it's kind of nice.